Hello, friends. Welcome to our live stream about the multiverse and the recent incidents which are happening in the nearby space time. And today we are going to talk about something which is latest. And this is the latest finding that there are two Mercury type planets found in a nearby solar system. What is so specific in finding two Mercury type planets in one single solar system? Let us discuss more about it and let's find out. So friends, there is a solar system which is close by, and recently scientists have been able to locate five different kind of peculiar planets in this solar system. There are two super Mercuries and there are three super Earth in this entire system. So first of all, we know that super Earth is a planet which are more abundant in the space, in the universe, and our Earth, which is smaller than super Earth, is basically an exception. So and then super Mercury has never been seen. In fact, there are very few instances of locating these kind of planets. And what is so special in super Mercury or even Mercury type planets? We will discuss that, but let us understand what is a super Earth, because in this system there are three super Earth type planets. So scientists now believe that super Earth planet, if they are found in the habitable zone around their star, they are better candidate for harboring life, because there are much bigger, the planet has much more material and also has a thicker atmosphere and lot of material for complex life to evolve as well as thrive. So super Earth is typically larger planet than Earth. We consider anything which is twice the size of Earth and up to 8 to 10 times the size of Earth is called super Earth. Typically anything below this parameter is similar to Earth. So what we find today when we look around in search of exoplanet, that there are more super Earth type planets than the Earth type planet. That means there are larger habitable planets, terrestrial planet, which may have life also, and much more material, lot of water, lot of oxygen. And since super Earth is larger planet, it will have more gravity, it will retain the heat for longer time, and since it will have more gravity, it will have the hydrogen and helium gas, I mean the ability to retain the lighter gas which are not found in the atmosphere of Earth, because the gravity on Earth is not strong enough to hold hydrogen into its atmosphere. But if there is super Earth, it will hold the hydrogen, and once you have hydrogen, then you can even create the life-based experiment even in the atmosphere, because we know that on Earth life evolved from the ocean. And if there is a planet which is in the habitable zone, the life can even evolve not only in the water but also in the atmosphere, because hydrogen will be abundant in that environment. Also at the same time, there will be lot of material, at least 3 to 5 times more material available for more permutation combination to happen. And that is why super Earths are much more conducive for life, and scientists believe that finding three super Earth in the habitable zone in one system itself is a very surprising find. Now in the same system, scientists have also found super Mercury. What is Mercury? Mercury is a planet which is similar to our own Mercury. Now our Mercury is very specific because it is closest planet to the star, and it's a terrestrial, it has a body. So normally when you look around in the outer space, you don't find these kind of planets, because these planets either are very close to the star and they burn up very quickly, or these planets are the gas giants. So we don't find the hard rocky inner planets ever. In fact, we have started looking out recently, but we found only about 5,000 planets so far, exoplanets, and out of which only 7 have been found to be Mercury. Now, I have a message from Sushri Sangeeta Pratihari, and okay, so she is informing that she has qualified the high school teacher exam in her first attempt. So congratulations, Sushri. From our side, we wish you all the best. And if you have any question on this particular live stream, feel free to ask. So thank you for your thank you for watching this stream, and thank you for your message. All right, so we were talking about the super Mercury. So finding super Mercury is even more rare. And what is super Mercury? Super Mercury, as the name suggests, it is a planet which is much, much bigger than our Mercury. So why Mercury is so specific? Because Mercury is having a molten core. Unlike Mars, which has a frozen core, Mercury has a molten core, and because of the molten core, it is made of iron, pretty much like the core of the Earth. So when we have the core which is molten, that means it can generate magnetism, and since it can generate magnetism, it will be able to act like a magnet and trap the particle or radiation which is coming from the central star. So that is the peculiarity of Mercury. And the surface is also very hot because it is very close to the star. And so essentially Mercury is very similar to Earth, minus the atmosphere, because it has a lot of heat in it. It has the thin silicate based crust floating on the hot mantle, which is the feature of the Earth also. The rocks that we see are made of silica or silicate, and the rocks which are lighter. The mantle itself is heavier and hot, and that supports the floating continents and the ocean bed on this mantle. So mantle is basically made of thicker material than the continents and the rocks which float on top of that. So Mercury is a very peculiar planet from that sense. It's small, it has a lot of iron and nickel, it has a molten core, and it has a hot mantle on which the crust is floating. So these are the peculiarities of the planet, and to form such planet, it requires processes which we do not understand fully at this point in time. And when we talk about mantle of the Mercury, it's a very thin mantle. Most of the planet consists of the core. So one belief is that because its vicinity to the star, a lot of material from the planet has evaporated and has been lost into the space. So that is why these Mercury type planets are very few, because if they are formed very close to the star and they are so small, the chances are they would evaporate and they will not survive. So for a planet to survive at a decent distance away, so that it can be a viable planet, viable body, that is why we don't see many Mercury type planets when we look around. And finding 2 Mercury type planets, it's an amazing discovery. And another feature with regard to Mercury is that it does not have any atmosphere, because even if there is an atmosphere, it will be blasted out by the radiation coming from the star. But once in a while, it forms a atmosphere which is predominantly made of ionized atom nuclei, which are also sent by the star itself. And so once in a while, stars send these particles which are trapped by the atmosphere and forms by the planet. It forms a very thin layer of ions basically, and then when the activity increases on the star, this layer of ions is also thrown out in the space. So sometimes a Mercury type planet have atmosphere, sometimes it does not. So these are some of the peculiar characteristic of these type of planets. And as the name suggests, super Mercury is definitely much bigger planet, a rocky planet, much bigger in size, and at a decent distance away from their core central star, and surviving not one but two. So that is why it is so peculiar, and that is why I'm talking about this in my live stream with you. And we have to now understand how this planet forms. So when we look at the planet formation, it's a very complex process. First the star has to form. Without star being formed, the planet will not be formed in any solar system. So first there is a cloud which has a lot of material, and the cloud for some reason start collapsing, and then at certain densities and volume in the middle, the star will ignite. Once the star ignite, it will start emitting a lot of radiation, and this radiation and light and the explosion of the kick-starting of the star itself will create a sort of a outward pressure. And when the outward pressure is created, that will create some lumpiness in the remaining of the material which is left behind in the cloud, the gas cloud. And that lumpiness will start collating wherever they are orbiting around the star. So it depends what type of material is available in a particular bend of that cloud which is rotating around the star which has newly formed, and that is the type of material responsible for the characteristic of that planet which will eventually form in that region. So understanding how Mercury is formed is a mystery. First of all, we are not able to solve, and then finding two Mercury type planet, it's a even bigger mystery, because this is giving us a lot of information that how planets form in the first place. And that is why we are talking about it in today's live stream in Multiverse. And I think scientists are now trying to understand this whole equation about planet formation and how planets form and then survive and thrive. Specifically in this solar system, there are 3 super Earth-time planets. So there are huge potential of finding life, because all 3 planets have been found to have substantial atmosphere and substantial ecosystem. And then we have 2 super Mercury in the same system. What is the impact, gravitational impact, and what are the conditions which prevail in this solar system? We will have to find out. So we will wait and hear from scientists as and when they come out with new findings. So friends, this is something which is very interesting. I found which was recently discovered in the near vicinity, that scientists have been able to find new exoplanets, and the chances of finding life in these exoplanets looks very promising, especially with the JWST at some point in time will be turned towards this system, and then we'll get more insight and inputs. So if you have any suggestions, any comments, feel free to write, and better would be to join us every day live in our live stream, where we talk about the recent incidents, discoveries, and facts, figures about multiverse. So friends, thanks for watching. I will catch you again tomorrow with something more intriguing. Take care and bye bye.